This is the question everybody have been asking, including you, including I. Maybe you know, maybe I know, but maybe some people don't know. But it's always good when we saw this kind of message, we bring it to the understanding of my people. The question we ask, or rather the question being asked here is that, where did the Igbos people came from? When you go to the comment section, you'll be surprised to see the Afonjas telling you don't come from nowhere. In fact, they said you are an alien in Nigeria. The same people who call you alien, when you tell them, let this alien go and be on his own, they will tell you, no, that we all need to die. We die here. Okay, let me not waste much of your time. The more historical documentaries I put out, the more my followers reduce. But I am relentless Igbo man. I'm a relentless Igbo man, according to the poster of this message, which is a Enuane cultural forum. I don't know whether this one is for us or is against us. But anyway, let me not waste much of your time listening to this clip, and then we will come back here for more discussion. As you are watching, kindly subscribe, like, share, comment, and follow us on all our social media handles. If you don't mind, regade.
Where did the Igbo people originally come from? This question has fascinated scholars, historians, and the Igbo themselves for centuries. Over the past 70 years, many researchers, especially African scholars, have pushed back against the misconception that the Igbo lack an interest in their history, a true archaeology, linguistics, and oral tradition. New light has been shed on Igbo history, but just like the origin of the word Igbo, the true descent of Igbo people is still debated, as none of the origin theories put forward has been fully proven. In this documentary, we will look at three main theories on the Igbo people's origin: the internal migration theory, the Far East origin, or...
I want to also make this announcement in case maybe moving forward you might hear a word or language you don't understand by the person who is telling this history. My brother, history remains history. People say history based on what they know or what they hear or what they read. That one man came to define the history of Igbos does not mean he knows everything about the Igbos. If you are hearing this word, the word Igbo came from Ndigbo. Ndigbo means the people of the far, 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 far. People who have been in existence even before every other thing came in place. So Igbos are being known as Ndigbo. That is where that word Igbo came from. So do not mistake it, or maybe bringing something to down your spirit or whatever. It is good to listen. We all are adults, so you cannot come out and tell me now that whatever you hear from here now is done. The only thing that is going to change your mindset about where you came from, about your history, about the ideology, about whatever perceptions you may already have inside your heart, or rather, you may be harboring inside your heart that this is exactly what defines who you are. So let him tell his own history. We also have our own history to say, and also, everybody have right to define whatever they like. They put it out there. Our duty is, whenever we saw this kind of message, we bring it to you. Look at what I saw. Join it with that one you know, or that one you don't know, and then you come to a round table conclusion that this is exactly what defines who I am truly are. So please, let this message I'm not trying to downplay your kind of your mindset or whatever you have believed before that defines who you are. That is exactly the point I am trying to make here. So please join me as we listen to this message. In fact, continue listening. Enjoy the rest of the news, and don't forget to share.
External migration theory. And lastly, the Autochthonous and always been here hypothesis. At the end of the video, we will speculate on the most credible of these theories. You can let me know which theory you find most convincing in the comment section. Please take a moment to like this video, as your support means everything to us. Thank you. Three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, with their homeland located in the southeastern part of Nigeria. They inhabit an area divided by the river Niger into two unequal sections. The mainland and the riverine Igbo, often refers to Olu. In the pre-colonial era, the Igbo people lived in decentralized communities, often organized into village groups or clans. there was no sense of a pan-Igbo consciousness until the advent of colonialism. Actually, the word Igbo, according to some, may have originally meant community or ancient people. Because of this decentralized nature, determining the origin source of the Igbo people is a bit more complicated than usual. The internal migration theory of Igbo origins suggests that the Igbo people emerged from kingdoms within present-day Nigeria. According to this theory, early Igbo groups, mainly hunters, farmers, and metal workers, likely migrated gradually from areas around the Niger-Benue confluence into their current homelands around 4000 to 3000 BC. This theory is supported by a combination of archaeological and linguistic evidence. The archaeological site at Uguele in Uturu, Abia State, one of the largest ancient stone tool manufacturing sites in the world, shows continuous human occupation from 2935 BC to 15th century AD. The lowest level of this site is said to show evidence that humans inhabited the region as far back as 250,000 years ago. Meanwhile, the findings at Nsukka and Afikpo archaeological sites revealed early Iron Age settlements with dates that overlap with the upper level of Uguele archaeological site. Pottery works found at the site resemble contemporary Igbo pottery in form and decoration. This evidence points to indigenous development by the Igbo in the southeastern region. Linguistically, the Igbo language belongs to the Kwa subgroup of the Niger-Congo family, which likely branched out from the Niger-Benue area, and the Igbo language is supposed to have started separating from its related languages around 6000 BC. Linguists argue that the spread and diversification of Igbo dialects suggest a long period of settlement rather than recent external migration. Based on the theory of internal migration, the Igbo have been living in their homeland since at least 3rd millennium BC. The second theory, and a relatively recent one, is the external migration theory. It suggests that the Igbo people are descendants of Jews who migrated from the Far East, possibly Egypt or preferably Israel. Colonial era scholars like Leslie Amory Talbot theorized that the Nubian Wars of Amenhotep or the conquest of Egypt by Hyksos around 1870 BC pushed people south and west, some of whom ended up in present-day Nigeria. The theory gained traction partly due to what is seen as cultural similarities between Igbo, Asia, and Hebrews. Such similarities include practice of circumcision, animal sacrifice, and certain linguistic patterns in Hebrew and Igbo languages. British missionaries in the 20th century, like George Basden, even compared Igbo customs to Levitical practices in the Bible. He suggested that some elements of Igbo religion and language may have Jewish roots. The stigmatist Innocent Okori expanded on this idea, identifying Shemfi-Igbo in Judea as original Igbo town before migration and tracing a full migration path from Judea to Igbo land with specific names, dates, and locations. Even though this theory has become popular in some circles, especially among Igbo Christians, it lacks strong archaeological or linguistic support and is viewed with caution by many historians today. One can also say it resembles the typical colonial viewpoint that anything good in the black race must have come from outside. The third theory, the Autochthonous hypothesis, holds that Igbo people are indigenous to southern Nigeria and never migrated from anywhere else. Professor Elizabeth Isichei, in her book, A History of the Igbo People, captures it thus: "We did not migrate from anywhere, write it down, quote and unquote." According to some scholars, archaeological findings suggest that the Igbo have lived in their present homeland from the dawn of human history. Researchers like the archaeologists Adiele Afikpo suggest this view, referencing the dates of several archaeological findings, especially the prehistory sites at Uguele, that indicate that the Igbo have lived in the region for more than 6,000 years. And as noted by Professor Elizabeth Isichei, the people of the areas regarded as the Igbo homeland like Nsukka, Owerri, Okigwe, Olu, and Oka have no known migration marks that trace their origin to any foreign land. This theory agrees with what some people believe as meaning of the name Igbo, Ndibo, to mean ancients. If we consider the antiquity of the archaeological evidence across Igbo land and Igbo territory, we have come to the conclusion that Igbo land has been occupied far more longer than the migration theories suggest. The excavations at the Stone Tool site located at Uguele reveal 3 cultural layers on top of each other, with radiocarbon dating placing the earliest layer, Sika, at 2935 BC, and the oldest layer is tentatively suggested to be as old as 250,000 years old. This means the site is definitely much older than 5,000 years old, older than the Amenhotep wars that triggered some migration, and even older than Jacob, the father of the tribes of Israel in the Bible. The Stone Age to Iron Age progression seen in the archaeological records from Uguele to Afikpo, the Nsukka and the Ibuku sites shows the Igbos specifically had been in continuous occupation of the region. All artifacts excavated in Ibuku by Isaiah Nozier and Professor Autochthonous Shaw are similar in style, size, and uniquely Igbo. To us at Enuani Cultural Forum, it seems the Igbo people sprung from their current homeland. After all, the earliest human ancestors were said to have emerged from Africa. In conclusion, findings published in the book They Lived Before Adam by Professor Catherine Acholono also cements the fact that the earliest human ancestors lived in Igbo land. Examples such as the Sanskrit from the Ikom monoliths point to the antiquity of Ndi Igbo. We will continue this analysis in our subsequent series.
So the analysis have been done and dusted. It is now remain for you that will hear it to put it into practice, or rather to went into deep research to confirm most of the things that have been said on this video. Here are the few comments that follows the post. We don't have much time, just a few. Christian Ezudu said the last theory that the Igbos are indigenous at their present areas are shown by many archaeological sites. They have resemblance with the Jews, showing that God has special aim for both of them. Okay. Odem said Igbos are previously obviously indigenous Asian people in their homeland, Ndibo. However, some migrated from Jew, the lost tribe of Israel, and joined them and became assimilated and are culturalized, forming the present-day Igbo nation. Now, waiting this, our brother talk. Odem. Emmanuel Njoku said Igbos are the ancient people. That is why we keep doing exploits in the midst of suppression. Of course, we are Ndibo, and we always have answers to every question. Kemet Afroland said, wherever you find Igbo in Old Southeast, that is where they come from. Igbos are the ancient people of the world. Okay. Gerard Nwizubo said from Igbo land, not that side. They told you. Catherine Acholono said book that they have lived before Adam, referring to the Igbos, is an overstatement, though Igbos are one of the oldest tribes in the present-day Nigeria. It is therefore if they lived before Adam, the first man created by God, according to your Bible. Okay, let me pause here. Drop your own thoughts at the comment section of this video. What do you think about Ndibo, which is me and you? And at the comment section, in fact, let us continue discussion at the comment section of this video. Have a nice day. I'm a regular control to bless you.